Which foods are gonna boost my mood? Everyone has that specific comfort food that they go to, right? But this isn't really about, oh, I'm happy because I got ice cream versus I'm sad because I don't have ice cream. It's much deeper than that. This is about the bacteria in our bellies, and that's called the gut microbiome. Scientists say that more than half our bodies is not actually made up of human cells, but made of microbes. I mean, I'm talking bacteria, viruses, fungi. So if you think about it, we're actually more microbe than human. But before you get too alarmed, remember, we think of bacteria as a bad thing. However, there's good bacteria too. And it's the balance of this good bacteria versus bad bacteria that has these scientists so excited. Now, we're only at the very, very beginning of understanding the role bacteria plays in our bodies, but it's already transforming the way we think about diseases like Parkinson's, allergies, and even mental health. And this takes us to Ireland, where scientists are at the forefront of exploring the connection between our mental health and the food that we put in our guts.
Here in the intestines, we have these trillions of microbes. And what we're trying to do is try to understand how our diet is affecting the composition of these microbes to influence what's going on in the brain.
The large intestine is like a big fermenter producing hundreds or perhaps thousands of molecules, many of which get into the bloodstream and are capable of communicating with the brain.
Research shows that healthy gut bacteria can actually produce neurotransmitters. And these are the small chemicals that send messages in our brain and our nervous system.
We use the term psychobiotic to describe bacteria which have a positive mental health benefit.
So, this raised an intriguing question. Can a diet which increases healthy gut bacteria actually improve our mental health? Can what I put in my gut actually make me happier? So, to test this out, we recruited 8 healthy volunteers with the help of nutritional expert Dr. Kirsten Berding-Harrell.
Thank you for coming in today.
Steve and Sean both suffer from stress and anxiety and also eat unhealthily.
At the moment, I do eat a lot of takeaway, very fast food.
A lot of sugary foods. Like for my breakfast this morning, I'd had Nutella and toast.
The volunteers are split into 2 groups. Steve is in the control group and will continue a regular diet, whereas Sean is in the experimental group and will be put on a psychobiotic diet. And this is the diet with the gut bacteria linked to good mental health. This diet consists of 2 main types of foods, prebiotics and probiotics. And this comes from stuff which is foods rich in fiber and fermented foods.
Am I allowed to eat, a takeaway of one night a week or something like that?
So we want you to stay away from the fast food.
Okay.
We want you to eat healthy, homemade food. Takeaway kills your bacteria, so you should stay away from those during the month.
Okay.
They follow these diets for 4 weeks, but not before Steve and Sean give stool samples so we can measure their gut bacteria. And then they're given a mood questionnaire so we can assess their well-being. Then, for the next 4 weeks, half our group will eat normally and half of them will switch to a psychobiotic diet.
Like I would have never eaten whole wheat pasta before. I've never eaten any seeds before, never mind putting them into a dish, so it's definitely a change for me, but it's a good change.
And then it's time to hear the results. First, the bacteria in their gut.
We took a poo sample to look at what was going on in the microbiome, and we found that there was a remarkable change, even in such a short period of time, in the composition of the microbiome. We don't see that in the control diet, unfortunately.
Within 4 weeks of a psychobiotic diet, it's already led to a better mix of healthy bacteria in our volunteers' gut. More good bacteria, less bad. So, question is, how has this affected their mental health?
What we find very clearly that those on the psychobiotic diet have much less stress compared to those on the control diet.
Excitingly, the mood questionnaires showed that our volunteers on the psychobiotic diet felt significantly less stressed. And as a further measure of their mental state, we're actually having their response to stress tested, and their response fell by about 31% on average. Although this was a very small study, the results are consistent with others, and this demonstrates a clear link between the specific foods we eat and our mental health. However, that doesn't mean this is an easy diet to follow. Okay. Ooh. So let's look deeper into what is a psychobiotic diet and which foods will boost my mood. Prebiotic foods are foods that are rich in fiber and known to help feed healthy gut bacteria. So we're talking about whole grains, onions, leeks, and berries. Probiotics are foods full of healthy bacteria. So we're talking about fermented foods such as kefir, sauerkraut, kombucha, kimchi, as well as probiotic yogurts. Unfortunately, we have 3 of them here. We got some kefir, some kimchi, and some kombucha. And I haven't actually tried these, so here's to hoping these are as good on my taste buds as they are to my gut health. Whoa. Ha! Well, here's hoping. I feel like some of this may take some getting used to. Delicious. That hits the spot. My gut feels better already. Oh my god. Nah, you have to try this. You have to try this. Yeah. Honestly, I can just about deal with the kimchi. The 2 drinks are terrible. The key thing to remember here is that our understanding of the gut microbiome and its links to mental health, like many things, is still in its infancy. So make sure you're looking out for new research coming soon. And guys, this doesn't mean you can never ever again have your favorite fast food or cheat meal, but just remember, looking after your gut bacteria is good for not only your body, but your mind as well. my reaction says, oh. Alright, let's get toward this. Nah, no thanks. No thanks. Oh man, here we go.